Alright, welcome to the last section of Chapter 5, Scatter Plots Part 2. As you remember, we talked about scatter plots back in Chapter 4, and we realized a couple things about them. They can have three different correlations. It can either be positively correlated, negatively correlated, or have no correlation. And based on those correlations, unless it's a no correlation, we can make predictions on those scatter plots, just like the one that we have here. Now today I'm going to teach you how to make a more accurate prediction based off of data. And we'll need that for this one because if we look at the question, it asks us to figure out about how many participants could we expect to participate in 2015. Now it would be pretty easy to make a prediction on how many participants there would be in 2007, 2008, 2009, but 2015 is pretty far off to the right there. So we're going to look at a different way to figure this out. We're going to use our knowledge of lines. And the first thing you want to do when you make a prediction is draw in what they call a trend line. A line that appears, and this won't be exactly straight here, a line that appears to pass through most of your points or follows that trend very accurately. And then the next thing we're going to do is pick 2 points on that line. And it doesn't have to be the points that they have on the graph. It can be 2 points that just appear to be on that line. So for instance, this point right here, I'm going to call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 to help us out here and use easier numbers. So I'm going to go say that the point that I just chose is 230. And that's a nice point to use. You want to use as nice points as possible. And another one I'm going to choose is this one right here, 550 over 5 up 50. Alright, and we have 2 points. And whenever we have 2 points that are on a straight line, we can come up with the slope. So I can take my y2 minus y1, 50 minus 30, and I can take my x2 minus x1, 5 minus 2, and I get 20 over 3. So there's my slope. And now that we have a slope and 2 points, I can come up with a point-slope form equation that will help us make our prediction. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I'm going to use this point right here. You can choose either of them. That one has smaller numbers, that's why I'm going to use that one. So I'm going to say y minus 30 equals my slope times x minus 2. And we're going to solve for y. Alright? So I got to distribute 20 over 3 times x is 20 thirds x, and 20 over 3 times 2 over 1. So I'm just going to leave this as 40 over 3. 20 times 2 and 3 times 1. And then we're going to solve for y. And for the sake of this example, I'm going to change 40 over 3 into a mixed number. Okay, so 3 goes into 40 13 times with a remainder of 1. So 13 and a third. And to solve for y, we're going to add 30 to both sides. Now you have to be careful when you do this. Adding mixed numbers with negatives involved can get a little bit tricky. Alright, so we got y equals 20 over 3x, 20 over 3 being my slope. And really here we've got 30 minus 13 and a third. So what I'm going to do is do a little sidebar. 29 and 3 thirds is the same thing as 30, and I'm going to subtract 13 and a third. So 29 minus 13 is 16, and 3 minus 1 is 2 thirds. Going way back into the past for that one. So we have more positive than we have negative. So it's going to be a plus 16 and 2 thirds. Technically that 16 and 2 thirds would be, if we followed our line, that would be my y-intercept. So 16 and 2 thirds, I don't know, might be somewhere like right there. It looks like the line that I created would come back and hit that point. So just for reference, that's what that is. Now we want to figure out how many participants about there would be in 2015. Now since I changed my bounds to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to just put 15 in here. So for x, so times 15 over 1, and here we go. We've got 3 and 15 can cancel, so divide by 3, divide by 3, I've got 20 times 5 over 1 times 1, or just 20 times 5 is 100, plus 16 2/3. Obviously we're not going to have 2/3 of a person, so we'll do some rounding here, but we get y equals 116 2/3. We can round that up to 117 and say we expect about 117 participants in 2015 based off of the data that we were given here. This is how we can make a prediction, a very accurate one, based off of the data and a trend line that we came up with. And that's all I've got for you.